Very good evening, everyone. My name is Gulshan Memoria. I'm the CEO and a founder of a company called Inspiredvalley. We have started this initiative called Inspired Valley School webinars, where we take every topic every week, some of the prominent topics, and we invite the educationists from entire India and to discuss on the topic. So the today's topic is enhancing teachers' professional development for better students' outcome. And to discuss this topic, we have some esteemed panelists with us. The very first speaker we have is Miss Jyoti Saxena. She is the principal at Ompee International School, Gurgaon. Next, we have Miss Amutha M. Edward. She is the principal at Smrti Academy, Bangalore. We also have Miss Upasana Mittal. She is the principal at Raghav Global School, Noida. And we also have Miss Pooja Pareek. She is the principal at Springdales School, Jaipur. And lastly, we have Mr. Abhaykumar Sontakke. He is the principal at Mount Litera Z School, Nagpur. I welcome you all on our show. Okay, let me start the discussion by asking the very first question with Ms. Upasana. Ms. Upasana, as you know, the teacher's professional development is very important as if now. There are a lot of changes which are happening. So let me ask you starting this question. Technology is rapidly transforming the education, right? How have you integrated technology into the teachers' professional development programs to enhance the instructional practices and to promote better students' outcome? Over to you.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Gulshan. Good evening to all the esteemed panelists today. So, a very valid question if we talk about the post-COVID era. So, all of us have used technology during the COVID times, and it is because of technology that we could sail through those 2 years. In fact, today, if I look at the mode that we are in the online mode.
Exactly.
So, of course, from what I have experienced, I can say that technology has become the pen and paper of today. From whiteboards, we have moved to keyboards. So,
Exactly.
I would just like to share a small stats with you regarding the teacher training program. If I talk about, integrating technology for teacher training. So, what I feel is that profiling of teachers is very, very important. And for that, I would like to share these stats, which is as per the Technology in Education 2023 stats. 7% of teachers, they love to use technology, but they don't know how to use it. Then 60% of teachers agree that they would better integrate technology, but they need training. And one out of every three teachers are not satisfied with the support that they get from the school in terms of integrating technology. Because, if I look at a country like India, where we have diverse backgrounds of people, we have
Exactly.
schools that cater to different strata of our society. And so, if I look at schools which are in the rural areas, I can see that technology is not used at all. Then we are one of those privileged ones who belong to those fancy schools where we have all the infrastructure and technology. And then we have some schools, which are still developing, getting used to technology. So if a teacher, if profiling of a teacher is done properly and correctly, I think we can train our teachers to use technology efficiently. So if I see that a teacher is a novice, she doesn't know anything about technology, then I have to start at the ground level. I have to
Exactly.
first start with simple softwares like Word, presentations, maybe Excel, which will help in assessment, evaluation, as well as delivering the lectures. Secondly, if I look at teachers, like in my school, if I look at teachers, I fall in those 60% category where I see that teachers, they want to use technology, but most of them don't know how to use it efficiently and effectively in their
Exactly.
classes. So, we have teacher training programs where sometimes I take trainings because I am also a tech savvy person. I have been trained as an Apple educator and a Microsoft educator. So sometimes I take those trainings where, we divide it into three basic parts. First is how to deliver instructions in the classroom, for which
Okay.
we do presentations. If we are using Microsoft, if I'm using, say, Mac or Apple software, then we use Keynote. Then sometimes, for delivering instructions, I also use Peer Deck, which is again a software that can be used. Then we use Google Slides for collaboration. We also use Google Docs. We also use Sheets. And at the same time, We use some other kind of softwares, for evaluation, which is like quizzes. We use Kahoot, we use Google
So in
Forms.
total, that you use all these softwares and you provide
Yes,
trainings time to time to update the
right.
educators. Wonderful.
So, right. So we are
Please.
using these softwares for evaluation, for delivering the instructions, as well as for taking feedback, because technology and all these pedagogies may not be taken in by children very, they cannot absorb it at once. So sometimes feedback is taken in the form of polls, sometimes it is taken in the form of exit slips. So we have different mechanisms, but of course, it makes our teaching more efficient and easy, because
Wonderful.
it can cater to all kind of children. If I look at children with special needs, the ones who are visual learners, the one who are auditory learners, the one who are slow learners, for them, this is kind of self-paced and personalized. So children can study at home at their own pace, and they can catch up with what is being done in the class.
Wonderful. Let,
Similarly, children who are absent from school for whatever reasons, they can catch up with the work that is being done in the class. And at the same time, the ones who are brighter, you can challenge them by carrying out differentiation using technology.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing this wonderful, you say, aspect of technology. Let me take views with Miss Amutha. Miss Amutha, how you are integrating technology in your classrooms and how you're updating your educators when it comes to professional development. How often you introduce all the new changes which are happening across the country.
I would second what Mrs. Upasana just shared with us. There's knowledge everywhere,
Exactly.
and how to put all these knowledge into action is really a biggest challenge. It all depends upon the resources you need. Resources in the kind of trained professionals who would come to a school and help our teachers to implement like different instructional methodologies. So how we do that is like yes, we have a different program like networking program where we collaborate with different schools,
Okay.
and like the what we do, we create a pool where we have experienced teachers, we know the talents and what are the areas they can pitch in and help others. And also like how we have in classes like buddy system, right? In For our student, same thing we apply for our teachers also. We partner as a novice teacher with someone who is very experienced, who is very well versed with technology, and the one who is still stepping up in that area. So that is one of the thing. And definitely, like as I said, not only schools we collaborate with, we also collaborate with a number of organizations, who conduct, yeah, definitely free workshops as well as paid workshops. And we also take help our teachers identifying, like we have our HODs. We have completely decentralized this teacher training program, or professional development program. Like it should start from peers. If they collaborate well, and if they share what they have and they take it from others what they don't have, that is a
I.
wonderful attitude. We are building an attitude where we are working together because we are role model as teachers. If we don't do that, how do we expect the same thing from our students? So that's the
No, I
first thing
totally.
when I recently, as I said in my induction program, that is the first thing I said. We as teachers have to collaborate and help each other. That's all
Wonderful.
about, we are scaling down the globalization,
No, I really like your point when it
yeah.
comes to when you're saying that's
So
a but.
this is how, like, we started, and has to what I call it as teacher network program. That can be in-house as well as the schools that are in a proximity of 10 kilometers. Like we invite experts from there here, and we also send our teachers there to take up sessions.
Wonderful.
And also, like, keep our teachers abreast. I've asked my HODs, you look at your subject. It can be a paid workshop. It can be something that is, you have so many digital platform, helping teachers. You have the Nishta, you have Diksha. You just have to explore. Even at the comfort of your home zone, you can get trained. Yeah, the one aspect is it becomes very passive. We need to balance our teacher training program. One at the comfort zone of your home, and plus another one where you need to take a little more effort to step out of your place and get into active learning, which is very, very important. Because we
Wonderful.
often discuss about experiential learning, but if it doesn't start from our teachers, then actually we are failing as a school system.
Exactly. Let me take views with just a second. Yeah, Mr. Abe, how you are taking about this integrating the technology in your classrooms? How often that you organize the programs?
Yeah, good evening to all the panelists. When it comes to the technology, I'll divide it like this. The way we call it BC and AD, I call it as before computer and after digitization. And especially when we are speaking about the period post COVID, I mean, uh, the technology, the computers, it has become an integral part of our education system.
Hmm.
Earlier, there were very few schools, rather, those were privileged schools and privileged students, those were having the access to the technology, those who were using technology in their teaching learning process.
Exactly.
But right now it has become an integral part. Definitely, as we say, on the part of students, that is, every
Hmm.
student is different, every student is unique. Our classroom is a heterogeneous class.
Hmm.
On the similar note, the same thing applies to the teachers also. Like the teacher with whom we are interacting, with whom we are working, they have also come from diversified background. You may come across some teachers, those who are techno savvy, those who are expert. I mean, you will tell them to prepare a PowerPoint presentation, within another half an hour
Hmm.
the PowerPoint presentation is ready. And at the same time, you may come across another teacher, you ask that teacher to prepare a PowerPoint presentation, then that teacher may say, "Sir, what is PowerPoint presentation?" I mean, it's quite possible that you may come across these teachers also.
Hmm.
But right now, it is the need of the timing to know the technology, to keep ourselves updated. That is, the use of ICT in teaching and learning process has become an integral part.
Hmm.
For that, the first thing, when the teachers join our school, the first part which comes, like, definitely at the time of the admission, or that when we are hiring the teachers, at that time we ensure that the teachers are technicians. That's the first thing. Second thing, on the part of induction part,
Hmm.
they are groomed, they are trained for using the latest apps and the latest technology which is available.
Hmm.
Now, more than that, something different I would like to add at this particular point of time. We Everybody call it, like, some people call it as Google Bhagwan also. Like, whatever you want, you just type it out, you
Now
click,
the
and
things are gone, sir. Even from Google, people are moving towards Chat GPT
Now it
and
is
other
chat
yes,
GPT.
other tools as well. Even
Chat
people don't
GPT is
want to
like
do
become
yes,
the
a
basic research even now. Now they want just
definitely,
to be at their doorsteps, right? I'm sure that
right.
every educator, they must have experienced what Chat GPT or the other AI tools
yes,
can
yes.
do.
And now
Exactly,
another thing
exactly.
is coming
But
as
here,
Z space, the
one
computers
more
with Z
job comes
space.
of a teacher, which is very crucial and which is very important, especially.
Hmm.
Like, as you said, ki Google and rest of all these things are there.
Hmm.
This knowledge, this information is available on net. There are webinars, seminars, so many things are there.
Hmm.
But at the same time, we groom the teachers to what technology should be used, how it should be used, and the same thing they need to deliver to the students. If all
Exactly.
information is available, or knowledge is available on internet, but what is to be learned, what is to be adopted for
You
that
have rightly
benefit
pointed,
at their
Mr.
space.
Abe. You have rightly pointed. Let me tell you one point. I'm sure
Sure,
that everyone will agree with this thing. See, all the
sure,
knowledge is available on YouTube, free of
right,
cost. If you
right,
want to learn n number of applications, it's available free of cost. There's no point of integrated all the teachers training development programs in your school, right? As
right,
Miss Amutha said that okay, the peer learning, the buddy system is there, which will be helpful because I'm sure the young teachers, they really want, or they have, I mean, in-depth experience. At not in-depth, but at least 70 or 80% experience in terms of the technological uses, right?
right,
For an example, when we say that okay, as a student, that you want to start your own podcast, as a teacher, if you want to reach out to the maximum to the masses, you want to start your podcast. But how many of the teachers know how to start a podcast? It's very simple. There's a platform called anchor.com which is owned by Spotify. You just need to record your things and you need to upload it. This Spotify, this Anchor platform will reach out to all the 16 or 20 platforms. It will, you can say, it will give your podcast to all the handles like Google Podcast or the Amazon Podcast or the YouTube Podcast everywhere. This is one simple thing. Second thing, I'm sure that everyone must have used Canva, right? There are two versions. One is Canva free version, one is Canva paid version, right? So most of the people, they use Canva free version, right? I've seen most of the
Yes.
principal, they publish their post on LinkedIn or other handles where the Canva is there, right? Where the as a
I
Canva.
got the paid version
Yes. So
for my
so
school. I
let me tell
somehow,
you,
managed to
this Canva, they have a program called Canva Education. So
education,
if
yes.
you have an institution or a college, then you can reach out to those people, and it's free of cost for everyone. But still, the point is the limitation. They don't know or they don't want to know. So let me question, or let me start having discussion. So where the problem arises, they don't want to know, or they don't know. Over to Miss Pooja. What are your views on this, ma'am? First of all, you need to unmute yourself. Yeah.
These are the technology glitches. Practical example. see, everybody is talking about the technology development.
Yes.
Of course, that is mandatory. Everybody has already said this, what I also wanted to say. But apart from this, I also believe the professional development, not via technology only. I would like to add on more like personal talking each with each other, that personal development is also required. Like what CBSE has also started, hubs of learning. You all must have, being the CBSE schools, you all must be knowing about it. So in the nearby vicinities, all the schools are being collaborating each other. They are sharing their ideas, they are sharing their views, their problems also, their solutions also. We might be having same problems, and this helps in lot of development of the teacher as well as the students also. They share their ideas, what are the problems that students also facing and teachers are also facing. So this is another way apart from the technology to develop teachers. Not only technology, not only their professional development, apart from that, emotional development. A happy teacher delivers happy lessons. If the teachers are not happy, apart from this technology, happy teachers happiness is very much important. If she's satisfied, she's happy, she creates good people.
I
That is my
totally
view
agree
over
with you.
this.
Totally agree with you. That will lead to our next questions. We were just discussing technology as a part, that how often that we integrate technological experiences or the professional development in our in the teachers' learning processes. This was just one question
All
of
the
it.
process, I hope my colleagues have discussed everything. The same process we are also following. We are making them learn hands-on activities, all the Google Sheets, Excel worksheets. As Sir has said, there are so many teachers that don't know, and the major factor may be the organization may not be giving them proper platform and age factor. There's so many teachers who are very good at learning,
I
but because of their age factor, they're not able to cope up
exactly.
with it, and at times they don't want to learn it. They say we are happy with this only, we'll be able to teach without technology only. We have so much of learning. Moreover, when we go to technology, there should be a filter, what to learn and what to deliver. As Sir said, there's so many platforms, so many things on internet,
Exactly.
but we don't know what is correct and what is not correct. That an experiential teacher can only tell, okay, this information that is on internet, on Google Baba, as you said, is correct or not.
Which a teacher can only tell. That's why the school are in place.
See, technology is important, but teacher
Okay,
experience
just,
cannot
just
meet
just to close
technology.
this question, I just want to have some more suggestions from your side. So one suggestion which Miss Amutha has mentioned, the buddy teacher system or the peer learning system, which I like the most. Why? Because technological learning requires a lot of time to invest, right? It cannot happen in 2 days workshop or 1 day workshop or
Yeah.
just 1 hour workshop. It requires a lot of time, right? And when you are above 40, don't mind, but again, when you go above 40 or 45, we have some resistance level, right? The same way, when
Yes.
we don't make friends, at the same time we don't make friends with the technology. So those, because we are teaching a different generation altogether, Gen Z and Alpha generation, which are totally into this technological world. So one suggestion is the peer
Right.
learning. Any more suggestions, if anyone want to mention, do that please in just one line.
See, whenever we go for this workshops, at times teacher refrain from them,
Huh.
because we need to either we need to give them time. You cannot, if you ask them, okay, stay back and learn, they won't. You need to give them extra time, either from their academic time that they are going for the classes. If you ask them during their holidays, they'll refrain from it. Even if it's a learning session, half of the faculty says no, we don't want to learn it.
Hmm.
If you, until unless you make it mandatory,
Yes, I just
you
want to share
have to
one
do it.
one one
Yes.
very one very prominent example which has happened recently. As a team, this Inspired Valley is a training company. We provide trainings to different verticals. So school is our one of the vertical. So recently we have been to Birla Education Trust. I'm sure that you are aware about it, which is in BITS planning. So they have 6 branches across India. So there they have given us 2 days program. One is on creative thinking, one was on communication strategies. So I was there and one more person was there to deliver these programs. So they have this 4 days mandatory FDPs program, which is called Faculty Development Programs. So some of the people they have called
FDPs.
from outside, and almost like 50 sessions were there. Simultaneously, it was having across the campus. So it was mandatory to attend all the FDPs, and they did this FDPs twice a year. So when you have this mandatory program, so everyone was sitting, even the principal was sitting for every 1.5 hour to listen and even to write it down everything. Then they give the feedback also. So it's a very nice practice the schools are doing. Yes, over to you, Miss Upasana. You wanted to make your point?
That's what I was telling, that until unless it is made mandatory and some
Yes.
incentives are being given, the number of certificates if you'll have, number of things if you learn and if you present us, then only it works. Practically it only works then.
Yes. So,
Otherwise, they want to learn, but constraint of time and their family issues are so much that they refrain from learning all this.
Yeah.
wonderful. I really like your point that for the
So
professional
there's one
development, if you have
suggestion,
these many things,
yeah.
yes, Miss.
There's
Yeah,
one practice which I want to share with you
please,
all.
please,
What we
ma'am.
have done in one of the schools long back. It is like maybe 7 years back. I was in Hyderabad in one of the schools. We were following a practice of having a PD period in the timetable of the teachers.
Hmm.
So what was happening? Those 2 periods, consecutive 2 periods, were only meant for PD, professional development.
Hmm.
Now, what we have done in collaboration with the agencies which were handling some of this training programs, they have uploaded few training modules on the PCs of
Hmm.
this resource room. So those PD period, the teachers, either they can go to those resource room to see those modules, or they would go to the library and go to a particular section which had books related to PDs, professional
Hmm.
development, like a classroom management, anger management, life skills. That has really helped in what a problem you just you mentioned, ki, that the
Exactly.
teachers don't
Yes,
want to stay, don't want to
yes.
do it in the
That's a
during the
wonderful
holidays
idea.
vacation. So that was mandatory for all the teachers. And then after 15 days, the head or HOD or the vice principal used to take a review meeting. Ki,
Hmm.
what have you done in these 15 days? What kind of PD you have done? So you need to give us a feedback, and how have you implemented, how you are executing what you have learned.
बहुत अच्छे
And
सजेशन है ये, बहुत अच्छे सजेशन
yes,
है इवन
and
विद दिस
now
थिंग.
each teacher will give a case study
Hmm.
about what kind of professional development you have used in your classrooms, and how is it now benefited the students,
Hmm.
how
Right.
students out learning outcome or whatever, how they have really improved.
See, what you have
So
suggested is not just related to money. Teachers, at the end of the day,
exactly,
teachers also feel enriched, right? Just
encouraged. And you are not forcing them.
yes,
See, you are not forcing them to stay for 1 hour to listen to somebody who's coming, who they are not even relating themselves to. So here you are on your own, you're independent. You
wonderful.
look at the modules. If it is contextual, if it is related to the problems in your school, you go for it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Let me take views with Miss Pasna. Please, over to you.
Yeah. So when I talk about teachers are not willing to learn, first we have to look at our the culture of our school. We
Hmm.
have to build in that learning culture in our school, and it's not learning from our peers; it's learning from our children as well.
Hmm.
Because if I look at my 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 10-year-olds, they are so tech savvy. If I have to design a poster, I give it to them to design it for me. So, in my school, we even have children taking classes with the teachers.
Hmm.
So, the children who are pro in using Canva and the teachers who want to learn Canva, we sit with them, we learn from them. They give us a small task, we send it back to them, and they assess us on the basis of what we've done. So, you have to build that learning culture. So, here children are so excited to teach their teachers because otherwise they don't get this opportunity. So I feel that once you have that learning culture, teachers will start learning to learn, so I
I
have
like this.
experienced
I like this tagline. There's a tagline called
learning to
"Train the
learn.
teachers" or "Teach the teachers." Ah, it's a
Right,
wonderful thing. We can use it.
right.
Over to you, Mr. Abhay. Please conclude.
Yeah, sir, regarding this technology thing, like so many constraints which we spoke about, and of course, whenever we are implementing something new, and whenever they have to go for that extra mile, maybe initially there will be the resistance, and as you rightly pointed out, maybe after 40, they are not in a mood to adopt that. But the first step which
Those who
I
are
believe,
above 40, उनको दिल पे लग जाएगा भाई.
नहीं, नहीं, नहीं. Sir, the first thing which I would like to suggest at this point of time, whenever we have to introduce them with something new, the first thing which we need to clear them, that how it is going to be beneficial for them, because it's the human tendency. When we find that, when we see that is something is beneficial for me, then definitely we go for that. Then only we step outside our comfort zone. That's the first thing which we
There is
need
a
to do.
topic called four rings of growth circles. I'm sure that some of you must have checked it out. So whenever we add discomfort to our life, it will lead to a lot of chaos. And we have to face a lot of chaos, then it will lead to a lot of productivity which in place. So if you want
Exactly.
to mention this four growth circles, please do mention. Over to you, Miss Amita. Please mention your point.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to this, as Mrs. Upasana said, like, it all depends upon the culture of the school, the attitude, we need to first work on that. And one more thing that, we need to make our team aware that, as even, the principal from the Jaipur school, she also said that, unless we quantify, unless we quantify their performance, teachers are not ready to step out of their comfort zone.
Exactly.
Okay. Learning is not, as we said, no, it's not connected to age factor at all. We, as teachers, have to be lifelong learners. Okay. So we had a recent meeting with management when we were discussing about the attrition, how to retain. So the most of the attrition was, we also have a review end of the year where we take from the parents. I know some of the thing is, even if whatever we do to enhance the learning experience, they still will focus on, please include more technology, please include more activities and update your lesson plan with latest happening. Whatever we do, always we fall short when it comes to parents. So when we have a very open discussion with the teachers, and it's two things I tell them: either the teacher changes or we change the teacher.
It's a direct
Because
threat. It's a direct threat.
no, because we see we
It's a
are
modern threat, I
observing.
would rather say.
So see that automatically puts a kind. I'm not saying a pressure, a responsibility, or accountability on a part of teacher. Rest you leave it to us. How we want to empower you, how we want to train you. You leave it to us, but some kind of commitment we want from you as teachers.
Wonderful. Let
So
me
yeah, it's very important that we quantify our appraisal.
over to all the principals. I don't want to get into the appraisal thing. Okay, let me start a different discussion when it comes to the outcomes specifically. So my question is with Ms. Jyoti. So in your experience as a principal, how have you seen the teacher's professional development directly impact the student's outcome? Right, and could you share a specific some of these specific examples where targeted professional development led to a notable improvements in students' achievements?
Yes. So, like as already, the panelists have already discussed the importance of professional development. But I agree with the,
Miss
principal
Pooja, Miss Pooja,
Springdales. Yeah,
yeah, Miss
Pooja,
Pooja.
sorry. So, as Miss Pooja said, ki technology is just one part, one part
Exactly.
of that
No,
professional
we have
development.
moved on from technology. Technology, even for this
Yes,
thing,
so
was
that's
just
what I'm
small
saying.
part.
So
Huh.
there are so many other domains where you need to develop professionally all the teachers. And since education is a learning cycle without an end, and it is not going to stop even after graduation and starting a career. Continuing education helps career minded individuals to continually improve their skills and become more professional at their work. So it is particularly important for school administrators, including principal and the owners, to enable professional development for teachers and assign a certain budget for every year to be spent only on the professional development. Then
Exactly.
only we can work on the outcome, how it
Hmm.
is impacting the students growth and development. So the first major area where the professional development really affects is the better learning outcome for the students.
Hmm.
Like educational technology guidelines for schools and standards for curricula are continually changing. You can see every now and then you're getting something new, new policies, new methodologies, new pedagogy. So this makes it really challenging, for the teachers to keep up with the trends and the best practices in the field. So professional development is the only answer, but how to do it? Like there were so many challenges. How to convince the teacher to do the stay back, how to tell them to take out time from their daily routine, and when they are at home they're busy with the daily chores, so you can't expect them to go for a professional development training every now and then. So
Hmm.
outcomes are definitely will be affected if you are not doing it on a regular basis and in a very streamlined manner.
Hmm.
So like this is one where I said ki the the outcomes, learning outcomes are affected. For example, if you have a learning outcome, my student will be able to use technology. I'm taking the technology as an example. Use technology to rewrite a concept or to kind of understand a concept. Now the students know much more than the teacher when it comes to technology. Content is there, but how to use that content to learn a concept is a major challenge for the teacher. So if you're not professionally developing the teacher to use to how what is already there, we have no dearth of what on the internet, but
Hmm.
how, because there is a lot of misuse of the technology. So you need to engage the children in a very productive manner. So
Hmm.
this is one example where I felt, the teachers have to learn how to use the technology, what they already know. So this is very important ki that how we are using them, how we are engaging them in the classroom, because as far as the technology is concerned, the teachers feel we make a PPT, we'll show it to the student. That is called
That thing will
technology.
not work. Yes.
Yes, but it will not work. You're
Hmm.
only increasing the screen time.
Hmm.
How can you, use the technology to better understanding of a concept? That is to be, basically we need the
Whenever we
teachers
learn
are.
something new, I mean, as a person also, take my example. Whenever I learn
Yes,
something new, anything new which I like the most, for an example, these four growth circles, right? I always
yes,
discuss with the people which are around me, because I
exactly.
think and I believe that these things will actually help people to grow. For an example, my one of my topic is decoding productivity. In Inspired Valley, we offer this program called Decoding Productivity, and in this productivity, there are many things. One thing is identifying the mental blocks and how to handle and solve these mental blocks. So when the teachers understand the beauty of the mental blocks and how
Exactly.
it's actually helping them not to grow, they also learn it, then they transfer this knowledge to the students, but the students are already facing the most of the challenges. For an example, most of the students are preparing for this entrance examination, right? Let's take the example of NEET, right? In this NEET examination recently, just now, 2 months before, almost 20.3 lakh students gave the NEET examination, right?
Yeah,
And only 1,40,000 seats were there.
to
My
track it.
goodness. And everybody want to go to AIMS, right? In AIMS, only 700 seats are there. So I'm sure they are bombarded with a lot of things, and they do have this mental blocks then and now. They are studying for almost like 24 hours in a day. In their sleep also, they are discussing all the biology examples or the whatnot. So it's always beneficial when they learn something from the teachers. So the teachers are not improving
Yes.
themselves then and now. It's
Exactly.
very hard for the
I
students to
was
learn.
talking the, yeah, same thing.
Yes,
Like content is all whatever you need, you have to just click and get the content, right?
exactly.
So now another thing which is beneficial is like teachers find new ways to teach.
Hmm.
So through discovering new teaching strategies, through professional development for teachers, educators actually can go back to the classroom and make changes to their teaching styles
Hmm.
and curricula to basically better suit their students' need. Nonetheless, these improvements are difficult to assess, but as
The
they
small things
usually,
happen, ma'am.
yeah,
Small
yeah, as
things.
they
When
usually
I, huh,
introduced, you slowly, you have to introduce it slowly, and through introducing educators to new delivery techniques, assessment styles, record keeping approaches. So professional development for teacher makes them more effective in their presentations and course assessment. So
Yes.
presentation is not always a PPT in the
हाँ
classroom.
नहीं, जैसे लेट मी
Yeah.
गिव यू वन एग्जांपल. मैंने एक वर्कशॉप अटेंड किया, बहुत अच्छा वर्कशॉप था, ठीक है. इन माय अर्ली ईयर्स व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड एज अ ट्रेनर बैक इन 13, तो जो एक सीनियर ट्रेनर आए थे, बहुत बहुत ही जॉली नेचर के थे. तो उन्होंने यूज़ किया दैट इट्स क्लियर और ऑल क्लियर. छोटा सा क्यू यूज़ किया, इट्स क्लियर और ऑल क्लियर. सो आई ऑलवेज यूज दिस थिंग. वेन एवर आई यूज दिस थिंग इट ब्रिंग अ स्माइल ऑन द
Smile,
फेसेस,
yes,
राइट.
yes, exactly.
नॉट लाइक कंटेंट की कमी नहीं है, बट स्मॉल स्मॉल cues also you learn from the people, how they're using, what's the body language. Okay, over to you, Miss Upasana. What are your views on this? Specifically training, for an example, CBSE also organizing the art therapy or the joyful methods, the art integration. So when you organize this kind of workshop, did you see some specific results or the learning outcomes has been improved?
I'll give you an example
Please
from
do that.
grade 5. So recently we did an integrated activity where children had integrated math, EVS, English and Hindi. So they were studying about trees in EVS, and they were studying about trees in social sciences also. So what they did, they made a robotic tree, a tree that would exist 50 years from now, and how the tree would adapt to the climate change. So, some children came up with this idea of a robotic tree where the tree would have some waxy leaves, the roots growing up, and against gravitation. So children could explore, they researched, they explored, and they come up with the wonderful ideas. So they had this presentation in front of the parents, and parents were so happy to see the response of their children. Children who were not confident spoke very well. So parents heard their children speaking for the first time probably. So they were so happy.
This is a cloud nine
Yes,
moment for them.
yes. And then, children coming up with the reasons, the logic that why have they made such a tree and why can't roots grow upwards? It might happen that 20 years from now, the roots of the trees are not growing down, but they're growing up. So, children, if we give them a platform to think, if we have workshops where we tell our teachers to inspire curiosity in children, I think that would
That
work.
lead to design thinking, right?
Yes, design thinking. Because 30 years from now, the careers would change.
Even
We are
5
not-
years now, ma'am, you are
Even 5
talking
years
of after
down the
5
line,
years.
right?
Believe
5
me.
years.
So, we are preparing our children for the world which will be there. If I look at my grade 5 children now, in 10 years from now, when they move out in, say, 2034, the world would have
Will be
changed.
different. What? Totally different. For an
I
example,
just want to share one thing, just one
Please,
little
ma'am.
thing what you just discussed. I had conducted a PD on a topic how not to kill the creativity in the children. That was a topic for professional development. I just gave them one blank paper to all the teachers. There were 50 teachers in the room.
To draw.
I just gave them one blank paper. I said, crayons are there, pencil is there. Please do anything with these things. And you will be shocked to know that out of, there were groups, 15 groups. Yes, you are right. Gulshan, you are
Yeah,
absolutely
I
right.
conducted
Out
that
of
activity.
15, just make that, you made that triangular mountain, one sun from there.
One jhopadi, one jharna, one
a
green
tree,
grass.
and a tree always green at the top, brown at the bottom. So when I saw that, I was so I said, where is your creativity? And there you are expecting children to present something out of the world. So out of that 15, only 3 groups could do something different. So I said, same thing, you are making it so stereotypical in the classroom that if you have to make a flower, it should have 5 petals, one in the center black thing, and yellow petals, and a stem. I said, why don't you give them chance to explore their own creativity? Let them, just give them a paper and tell them any kind of flower, any shape of flower, any color, just draw it. So that
Yeah, that's a
PD
wonderful
has
example.
really helped the teachers.
And this
They
thing
were
is actually
literally
helping. This thing is actually
lot of
going on.
introspection
Yeah.
started after that. Yeah, really we are killing the creativity of the children.
So let's move on. Let's not and say yes, Mr. Pasna, over to you. Anybody? Okay. Any speaker would like to add any point? Please raise your hand. Okay. Yeah, over to you, Mr. Pasna.
So we have also done a workshop based on visible thinking routines. We have made it mandatory to have at least one visible thinking routine in every lesson that you do in your class. So you can have think, pair, share, and then you can have KWL charts. You can have I see, I think, I wonder.
Hmm.
So this helps in building the 21st century skills in children also. If
Exactly.
I look at critical thinking, I look at collaboration, I look at
This is very
creativity.
much required. Even, I mean,
Absolutely.
recently as a company, we have started one program called Founders Valley. In Founders Valley, we are offering the entrepreneurship skills program for 6 to 12 standard students, because not every student will go to the normal job line. In 10
Absolutely.
years, almost 60 to 70% of the job, the government jobs will diminish, right? So now they need to think कुछ ना कुछ different सोचना पड़ेगा. So that's how we introduce this program. Yeah, over to you,
Correct.
Mr. Abhay.
So in connection to this, one activity I would like to add,
Please.
like you know that in the age of technology, students they are hardly reading. I'm speaking about the reading of books and all that.
Hmm.
Okay, so so I conducted. In fact, it's a continuous process. I'm conducting two activities. First thing is that there is one activity called as Readers Junction in my school, which I started last month
Hmm.
on 14th April,
Hmm.
on birth anniversary of Dr. Ambedkar. It's like every day in their daily routine, 10 minutes slot is allotted over there. And during those 10 minutes, everybody, all the students and all the faculty members, they should do the reading practice. That's the one thing. And when I'm speaking about the teachers reading, it is not about the regular textbook reading, it should be something extra reading. That is one thing. And the second thing which I did is that we are having the staff meetings. For the regular staff meetings or for faculty meetings, which you call it as the regular practice, every month there will be two teachers. Like everybody has to read a book in that month and has to present the review of that book in the faculty meeting.
Hmm.
So ultimately what is happening, the reading habit of the teachers is getting developed, and simultaneously the same thing is getting followed up by the
Hmm.
students.
Wonderful. Hope they are not using ChatGPT as a substitute.
No.
Over to you, Miss Amutha.
Yeah, I would just like to add to Mr. Abhaykumar. Even in our school, like from this year, like in race of including or integrating technology, digitizing, we are forgetting the basics.
Hmm.
And reading is a very very important skill. So in our daily timetable, we have a 20 minutes. Before the short break, we have a 20 minutes, a short period where a bell will ring, and students will pause, set aside all the work. This includes teacher also. They take a book and they start reading.
Hmm.
And this was also one of the suggestions from the parent. We shouldn't stop just by, we don't know exactly in the 20 minutes are they reading or not.
Hmm.
The teachers have to make an effort, like at least by the end of the week, they like a circle time, they get together and discuss. What they read and what are their impression, or what have they the impact, and different characters, which character did you like about it. And these kind of small small activities, if they include, then that 20 minutes period becomes meaningful. It just not becomes a part of the timetable and documentation purpose. And also a club activity, the theme is going back to basics.
Hmm.
Children really don't know even to fold their shirt, their pant, organizing their books and all, and even they don't know how to button their shirt. So every month we have a theme, like home management and home science, and we take age level. This is for grade 4 to 10, and age specific and basic level theme each week. And we teach them this small essential life skill that will
Hmm.
help them in their future, and making them a little more responsible for their work. So these are the
Wonderful.
two things,
No, I
that
really like it. I
yeah.
like both the suggestions, Mr. Abhi's suggestion also and your suggestion also. Just one addition to your suggestion. If you just name it the way Mr. Abhi has named this initiative, Teachers Junction, it will add more value to it. And you can build all the methodology around this Teachers Junction idea, because it's a very beautiful idea,
Absolutely.
Teachers Junction, so that people can correlate. Okay, Teachers Junction, where you're going at the Teachers Junction, what you're doing, we are doing something in the Teachers Junction. So everything is revolving around that idea, and at the end of the
Correct.
day we can produce good results from the junction idea. Wonderful. Over to you, Miss Pooja. I would like to have your views on this. We don't want you to sit idle. Please first unmute yourself. Please first unmute yourself. Yeah.
I wanted to add on,
Please,
but
please.
like sir has said that there's some reading activities going on. Ma'am has said we also have this activity and we call it Dear. Drop everything and read. That's a dear activity we have every day. It's an everyday activity. First 20 minutes, it's dear activity goes on. And as ma'am was asking about, talking about the creativity, just killing the creativity, I'll just share an example.
Please.
It's an example of when I was on rounds and I just went in class, pre-primary classes I was talking about. And the teacher was showing them some story on
Hmm.
the smart board,
Hmm.
right? So I just asked her to, I just saw that which story she's sharing with the students. It's about some princess and something. And I said, to stop it. And I asked the students, okay, first thing, what is the dress that princess was wearing? So dress, the color that was shown on the screen, they all said that this is the color of the dress that the princess was wearing. I said, okay, close your eyes and think you are the princess. What color would you like to wear? And then you can't imagine the color themes that they started on, beautiful colors of dresses. That's the creativity. So I asked teachers, instead of showing that story on screen, it's better you narrate them. That brings in lot of vocab, lot of meanings, framing sentences, as well as the imagination part, the creativity, the imagination that they could do. As you said that you have given a sheet to every teacher and they all drew those triangular mountains and everything. So just give them some clue and then ask them to do that
Hmm.
creativity.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
have wonderful ideas.
So
Even
yeah,
telling
your
them,
suggestion is right. So instead of checking their creativity level, I mean, would matter in नहीं करता. We also support them so that they will become more
yeah,
creative at the end of the day. Wonderful. Oh, I like this idea very much. Now we are at the can say last part of our webinar when we call it rapid fire round. So in rapid fire round, I would like to have two views from your side. The views which we have not discussed till now. So our topic is enhancing teachers' professional development for better students' outcome. So I'm sure that you have already discussed. You've already gave me many suggestions, but still I want from you two some extra suggestions. So I am even more challenging your creativity right now, right? So please use your creativity at that level wherein you can give me two suggestions which is not possible as if now, but maybe in future it's possible, right? Or maybe the schools who don't have anything but still they can include or they can do this, include these suggestions in their curriculum, enhancing the teachers productivity or teachers profession level. Fair enough. I'm sure my question or my thing is clear with everyone. I want two suggestions on this teacher's professional idea. Apart from all these things which we have discussed so far, what else that the schools can do to improve the teacher's efficiency at any level? Okay, so one by one, I'll come back to everyone. First, I'll go to Miss Upasana, then Mr. Abe, then Miss Amutha, then Miss Jyoti, then Miss Pooja. I'm giving you 20 seconds to think. As Miss Pooja rightly said, we should also give time to our to our speakers. So I'm giving you 20 seconds to think about it. Anything revolutionary? I really like this junction idea, the drop idea. What else? Please do not go in length. We just need to use that sentence in one line and then I'll move on to the next speaker. So, two suggestions. Okay, let me start with Miss Upasana. Over to you, Miss Upasana, please.
Right. So I think teachers should be trained on career counseling and guidance, first of all.
Hmm.
That is very important if I look at grades 11 and 12 point of view. So this need problem will be solved if children are told about the various career options that are available. Then,
Hmm.
secondly, I think teachers need to have workshops on having the right behavior with children, because
Hmm.
I see empathy and compassion missing in teachers sometimes. So to balance that, I think to bring in that culture where everybody is empathetic and compassionate, first of all, what you practice, what you preach, you have to practice that, and charity begins at home. So I think first of all, the teachers, they need to be empathetic and compassionate, for which we have to have regular sessions with the teachers. Probably a little bit of mindfulness can be practiced every morning, where we just gather ourselves for 5 minutes and take deep breath, so that we leave all our worries at home and we come to school all fresh. So I've been
Wonderful. I
practicing
really like this idea. Both the ideas I
every day.
like it. Even
Yeah.
currently, I mean, I would like to take 1 minute to take the liberty and mention this. This career guidance and counseling is very important and is not just related to students, is also related to teachers. Because if they are teaching any of the student and they are only focusing on teaching, it will not going to serve any purpose. They need to give them some options. I already give you the example. Currently, if you take any of the profession, the probability of getting into is 1 by 50, even 1 by 200 or 1 by 1000. If you're
Right.
going talking about this, some competitive institutions, right? So it's always advisable for the teachers to give some, because teachers के साथ में challenges दो होंगे, उनको parents को भी समझाना होगा, right? Because parents नहीं मानेंगे, parents के साथ में अभी still when as a principal you always say okay, percentage doesn't matter, whatever you score every time, I mean we are there with you. But still, if you go to LinkedIn in the past 7 days, everybody is preaching about their topper, not the person who has scored 60%. So we also have a responsibility with the person who has scored 60%.
So,
Thank you so much.
you can have
Yes.
one-on-one session with the parents also.
Yes, it's required. It is required. Yes.
So for
And
that
on
we
teachers,
will
they
have-
have full faith. Yes, on teachers, they have faith. And if the teachers is suggesting something, so they will agree.
Yes, absolutely.
Over to you, Mr. Abhay.
Thank you, sir. Actually, in connection with the same thing which Upasana ma'am has told, I'm executing this particular thing in some slightly different way.
In correction or in addition? I'm
In
sorry.
addition, I can
Sorry.
say, yeah, sorry. I think in addition to that, the same thing which the way I'm executing it, I have formed one cell, and that the name of that cell is teacher parent cell. In that teacher parent cell, what exactly I have done? I have divided all the students from grade 1 to grade 12.
Hmm.
And for every teacher, based on numbers like 20 students or 25 students per teacher, there are 20 to 25 students are there. That particular teacher is the guardian of those 25 students. So for any difficulty, for anything, these students will get in touch with these particular students. So
Okay.
what is happening at present? That we know that nuclear families are there. Students are not getting that time and opportunity to open up in front of their parents. At the same time, there are certain issues which they may not be able to speak openly with their parents. So when these teachers are interacting with them on the regular note, one teacher is only who is interacting on the regular note. So in that particular scenario, the child opens up with the teacher. So what happens? It may be about the academic part, or it may be something related to career. It may be something related to any emotional part also, because we know that we are dealing with which age group. So there may be different factors also. So this particular thing has helped me and our school a lot, especially when we are dealing with the students, and especially about their emotional issues.
Understood. So you have made an entire new cell where the teachers are making some good relations with the students, some interpersonal relations with the students, so that
Right.
at the end of the day, if you are facing any challenge, they can empathize with them. Because in order to empathize, they need to have some relations with the students. Wonderful.
Definitely.
Second example.
The
Second thing?
example is one more thing which we are implementing in our school, and that is called as TOD, that is called as teacher on duty thing. Then the responsibility which the principal does every day one teacher's around will be there, he or she will be executing that. In this process, what will happen? Every teacher will understand what we have to go
ये तो
through.
सर आपने वाला एग्जाम्पल कर दिया. अभी साउथ में एक मूवी थी ना, गीता देवी शायद से एक मूवी है, उसमें वो प्रिंसिपल बनती है. सो आज का प्रिंसिपल, यू हैव सीन दैट मूवी, आई एम श्योर इट्स अ फेमस मूवी ऑफ गीता देवी.
Yes,
शी वाज अ प्रिंसिपल, शी वाज द रिटायर्ड आर्मी ऑफिसर, देन शी बिकेम द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ ए गवर्नमेंट स्कूल. सो उसमें वो एक टीचर को दिल्ली का प्रिंसिपल बनाती है. आज का प्रिंसिपल कौन है? आई लाइक दिस आइडिया.
So
Yeah.
that particular thing helps.
नहीं, अच्छा आइडिया है. सो इट ब्रिंग्स मोर अटेंटिवनेस एंड मोर अकाउंटेबिलिटी पार्ट. इवन दे कैन अंडरस्टैंड, दे कैन फिट इन द शूज ऑफ द प्रिंसिपल कि
Exactly.
कितना ज़्यादा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज होता है. ठीक है, लाइक दिस
And
आइडिया.
in this process, you are building their administrative skills also.
Yes, it does to a bigger extent. Yes, it does. Yes. Miss, over to you, Miss Amutha. Do you to
I think so. They have covered most of the point, but what I would like to share is our teacher training program. Like we planned, on the theme of inclusiveness. All our programs. that caters to the needs of different teacher learners, which is very, very important. Because I say there's age factor. There are young teachers who want to have active learning process. Some the teacher due to want to be a passive learner. So we cater to the need of. And how this helps is that this also brings about differentiated instructional strategies inside the class, because it's all about culture, how the school presents the culture to the teacher. That is what percolates down to the student level also. And one more thing is, as Upasana ma'am said, inclusiveness, sensitizing teachers with special education, making them aware of different kinds of learners, learning disabilities. It's very, very important that they empathize with all kinds of learners and include them. Definitely with awareness and a lot of support. If they do
Is
this,
required,
and
yes.
the real essence of inclusiveness can be implemented in school. This is what I wanted to
And
add.
that's a
Yeah.
wonderful suggestion, even, and it is
I
required.
would
It's
also
much
like to
required as
add
if
on
now.
this. Some emotional questions should be taken care of. The emotional well-being of a teacher as well as a student should be
Yes.
always taken care of. As I said in the starting, a happy teacher will always be a great happy students.
It very a good school, a successful school completely depends upon happy teachers.
Happy
If you take
teachers.
care of your teachers, the rest of the thing falls in place. So
So our
I
next
firmly believe in
webinar
that.
topic would be how to make teachers happy. That'd be fine. So
Mindfulness can be practiced for that.
Mindfulness, yes,
over
Makes
to you,
mindfulness.
Miss. Yeah, over to you, Miss Jyoti. Your two suggestions. You need to unmute yourself first.
Yeah. Okay, so I've done two things, with professional development. First was training the teachers to train. So this was my PD program where, I was teachers first were trained to train the parents. So what we have done, we have made a list of the volunteers parents who are ready to, come to school and help teachers sometimes whenever we have too many teachers who are on leave, sometimes as a shadow teacher. So the parents do not understand, the methodology, the pedagogy. So what we have done, we are running a program where the teachers are training the parents to become the shadow teachers, in case of what you said, inclusive education,
Mm-hmm.
where I have got 14 in primary section, 14 CWSN children. So what we have done, my teachers are training the parents to be the shadow teachers for such children. So the parents are happily volunteering for this program, because at some point of time you have to have that sensitivity for these children. So basically they are sensitizing them towards the children, and the parents are coming and helping us, in becoming the shadow teachers for such the special
Wonderful.
needs children. This
Wonderful.
is one program. Another program is where the teachers have to take at least two trainings in a year. Whatever professional development they are getting, they
So in-house training, I believe she was focusing on that
have to
whatever that
further
she has they've
transfer it
learned.
to another
Yes.
five teachers. Yeah, in-house means it's a multiple, like one teacher trains five, those teachers train another five. So it's like, if you have got a training from CBSE, you are coming back, you have to train five more teachers. Those five more teachers have to train another five more teachers. So this way, you are not having a burden of taking a large group.
So this thing you're talking about the teachers MLM, right?
Yes. So this is really a successful,
Yeah.
process
That's
where
this
every teacher
is
at the end of the year is getting so many trainings.
things. Yes.
So I don't have to spend money on 50 teachers to send them for one particular training. I'm just sending one, and 50 teachers are getting 50 different trainings, but they're all getting
Cross
percolated down
learning
to the
series.
lowest level.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Over to you, Miss Pooja. What are you two good suggestions?
The same, almost all the suggestions that we are doing, teachers have already given them suggestions. My suggestions are only I really work upon the teachers well-beings, how my teachers are happy, and how their personal problems are being shared. We have a group of teachers that cater to these their personal problems, because at times teacher feels scared to come to principal and share her personal problems. It's the buddy teacher or the buddy friends that they have, they share those problems to them, and whatever in whatever way we can help them, we help out to just make them happy and satisfied. This is one
Wonderful.
program that we are, apart from all the other that my
We have
friends
already
are
discussed. We
doing,
have discussed
this
many
is one
many things.
important program that we are also running for the emotional being, as I said.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let me formally end this webinar. Then we can have 2 or 3 minutes to chat. Thank you everyone, Ms. Upasana, Mr. Abe, Ms. Amutha, Ms. Pooja, Ms. Jyoti for sharing your wonderful suggestions. I'm sure our listeners will be delighted. They're going to smile. They're going to have a lot of learnings. So in just next 1 hour, when they're going to listen, they can have, this 20 or 30 odd suggestions. We can directly discuss with their teachers, fellow teachers, or the school leadership, and they can get the fruitful results in their teachers or the students' learning outcome. So again, from the entire team of, or the behalf of the entire team of Inspired Valley, I thank you everyone for giving your precious time and sharing this learning.